welcome to the Victorious Living Solutions podcast. I'm your host, Nikeya Young, and today's show is an exciting one. Today's episode is entitled Read to Lead. And if that sounds familiar to you, maybe some of you guys remember back from my Facebook Live and Periscope days. Ooh, remember Periscope? So I used to do this live where I would feature a book that I was reading and encourage people to read more books. I am a huge proponent of reading. Everybody who's had any modicum of success can tell you how important it is to constantly be in personal and professional development via literature. Okay, that is a way to get a free mentor. There aren't too many people who will mentor you for free. Okay, but if you dig into a good book from someone who is doing something that you want to do, who is at a level in life that you are aspiring to get to, that is a good way to get there for the low cost of $15 or $22.99 or however much the book is. You could pour into wisdom from people who have done things in Fortune 500 companies. Like, it's amazing. So read some books, you guys. I have with me today 4 books that I'm going to talk about that I have been reading that have been a blessing to me. And let's start with the first one. This is actually a devotional. I know during this time of year, this first month of the year, a lot of people, a lot of churches are doing fast as a way to center yourself and prepare for the new year and get some clarity and hear from the Lord, all that good stuff. This is a good book to do that with. This is called 100 Days of Believing Bigger. It's a devotional journal and is actually a companion to the book Believing Bigger by Marshawn Evans Daniels. Okay, and first off, let me say, none of these people who I'm going to be reviewing their books, none of them have paid me to say any of this stuff, y'all. Okay, so they're going to get some free publicity from me. I started this book and I stopped it and I picked it back up. So right now I am at day 40. Let's see. I'm at 48. Yeah, day 48. This is a good book that combines faith with practical wisdom and knowledge on how to succeed in business and all that fun stuff. It's written by a woman, but men, you guys will get something out of this too. So don't sleep. Don't be fooled by the rose color and think, oh, it's a girly journal. This is one of the best devotionals I have ever read. And the book that goes along with it is really good too. So Marshawn Evans Daniels, Believing Bigger, or 100 Days of Believing Bigger. And they say the best way to develop a habit is if you do something for 90 days or 90 to 100 days, it'll become a hardcore habit. So this is basically saying at the end of this 100 days, if your faith is not expanded and you are not believing bigger, you did something wrong. Book is that good. All right, the next book. And this is one of the best books I've read within the past year or so. This is by Dr. Darius Daniels. I really want him on this show, y'all. I don't know how I'm going to make it happen, but one day. So Dr. Darius Daniels' book is called Relational Intelligence, The People Skills You Need for the Life of Purpose You Want. This book is a book that you should constantly refer back to because people skills are never going out of style. And I had some good takeaways from this book, and I want to share a few of them with you. One of them was, I wrote it down. So relational intelligence, he says, we want relationships. Listen to me, those of you who are leaders, those of you who have people under you, who look up to you, you're serving others. We want relationships with people, whose character reveals that they are safe enough to handle us when we're at our highest and when we're at our lowest. Safe enough to handle us when we're at our highest and when we're at our lowest. That was one of the biggest takeaways from this book, is being able to discern who are your safe people. Who are your safe people? A lot of times you hear celebrities say things like, it's lonely at the top. They had all of these friends, and then the higher and higher they started climbing, the more zeros they got in their bank account, the more they accumulated, their circle of people who were safe began to get smaller and smaller and smaller, right? And so right now, you may not be at 6 and 7 and 8 figures yet, but it's really good to discern who your safe people are at this stage so that you don't get people mixed up. That is the worst. And this book talks about that too, like when you get some categories confused. They talk about the 4 categories of relationships. There's friends, and the term friend is actually used very loosely. They talk about that and how it's, a friend. They have unconditional love, the different characteristics of a friend. You shouldn't just be going around calling everybody your friend. The next category is associates. Associates is where you have periodic or consistent association with someone. People you see at church, people you see at school, people you see at work. Okay, these are associates, and just because you have some good conversation with these people from time to time, or you have a lot of things in common, or you kiki and laugh during lunch break, don't start giving them access to so much of your business like you would a personal friend. Okay, because you may feel some camaraderie with them because of a common goal or common place that you're at, but that person could later on reveal themselves to not be a true friend, and now you've given them too much access to you. Associates. The third category he talked about was assignments. These are people who are trainees, mentees, or advisees, people that God has given you. He's assigned them to you to help them achieve a certain level of success, to help them reach a certain goal. Important thing he talked about assignments is everybody is not your assignment. And the way you'll be able to tell, the people that are assigned to you, they want your help. You're not trying to convince them that they need your help. If you're trying to convince someone to let you help them, that's not your assignment. Okay, and you're going to be frustrated because you want something for them more than they want it for themselves. You don't want to take on that as an assignment. That's not an assignment, that's a headache. And then he talked about advisors. The advisor category, those are people who help you get farther faster. Okay, so those would be people who serve as your direct mentor. Okay, so get this book and read it and mark it up and read it again and refer back to it often and let it change your life. Relational Intelligence by Dr. Darius Daniels. The next book, I'm reading this book right now, you guys. I am not done. I just started it. And so I actually start my mornings off with my 100 Days to Believing Bigger devotional. And then I switch over to this book. This book is called Faith and the Marketplace, Becoming the Person of Influence God Intended You to Be. Faith in the Marketplace, Becoming the Person of Influence that God has intended you to be, by Dr. Bill Winston. Love, love, love this book. Now, you may have already purchased this book. This is a revised and expanded edition. You see how thick this book is? This book is chock full of everything you need. This book is for, let me tell you who this book is for. People who have a calling outside of the 4 walls of the church. You're Christian, you love God, you saved, sanctified, and filled, and that with a mighty burning fire, but you don't always fit in at church, or, you feel like it's something more that you should be doing. And it is. God has called you out into the marketplace because we need people out there being a light, taking dominion for the kingdom of God, all that fun stuff. I am on chapter 4 of this book right now, and I really could be so much farther ahead. Honestly, I could be in like chapter 7 or 8 by now, but I'm purposely taking my time and jotting down in my prayer journal things that God is saying to me through this book, like during these 10 or 20 days of fasting, whatever it is, I'm going to be pouring through this book to get clarity on how to make kingdom impact in the marketplace. I'll read you a few takeaways from this book. I love this quote. The church is meant to be the wealthiest, the most benevolent, and the most powerful institution in the world ever. I call it the benevolent empire. That's what he says the church should be. We should have enough financial strength to lift the curse off of any city that our Lord would send us to, not to beg, but to bless. Faith in the Marketplace, Dr. Bill Winston. That quote right there lets you know what he's on, and it's a common theme. You see that bold statement about God's intentions for the church, and you see the believing bigger. So y'all already know what type of time I'm on and what time you should be on if you want to live victoriously and help others do the same. And then, so I have my personal development to help me feel like a spiritual thundercat as I'm going out and taking over the world. And then I just read some good old-fashioned professional development books, y'all. And this is my girl Ashley Kirkwood's Speak Your Way to Cash, okay? So you guys know I'm a speaker, TEDx speaker, keynote speaker, workshop facilitator, holla at your girl, all that fun stuff. And I love the way she gives advice on how to grow your speaking business. So if there are any other fellow speakers out there and you don't have this book yet, what are you waiting for? Ashley just recently moved. She used to be here in the Chicagoland area. She lives in the Atlanta area now. And so she has annual Speak Your Way to Cash events. She has little things she does throughout the year. She's constantly doing Facebook Lives. Follow her on all her platforms. This book, I'll tell you the title names. And I have read this entire book, and I have marked it up, and I will be referring back to it quite a bit because each chapter ends with action steps for you to do. So it's not one of those books where you just read and you go, oh, that was a good book. If you read it, you should have a profitable speaking business as a result of doing the things that she's instructed us to do in this book. So this book has 6 parts to it and 18 chapters. It's another thick book. Part 1 is all about getting your mindset, developing the mindset of a highly paid speaker. Okay, so this is not speaking for Starbucks cards and chicken dinners. Okay, everybody has to start somewhere. But if you want to go from there to people paying you 5 and 6 figures to glean your expertise and your knowledge, you have to develop a mindset from there. That's a big gap from free 99 chicken dinners, Starbucks cards to 6 figures. And so she walks you through the belief system that you're going to need. Part 2 is all about press. She shows you how to build a 6-figure press plan, how to gain brand authority. So why you need press. She tells you why you need it, and that's why. Being featured in the press is a good way to showcase your credibility. And then part 3, she talks about understanding the basics of sales, choosing your services for your 6-figure proposals, everything you need how do I write a proposal? What goes in it? I don't know what to do. Ashley gonna tell you what to do. This girl lays it out, okay? And then part 4, setting up the system, like everything you need to your CRM, all that you need for your sales leads. She walks you through that process. Part 5 is delivering the speeches. So you don't want to do all of that and then suck at giving the speeches. She gives you some tips on how to do that. And part 6 is all about how to get paid. Legal stuff you need to consider. Building your team. Bringing it all together in next steps. This book is, see, how many pages is this book? I'm going to say 246. 266. Okay, 266 pages. And highly recommend it. I actually, for Christmas, you guys, I got a wonderful present from my producer / hubby. He got me tickets to go to a live Ashley Kirkwood event. She is having an event on March 17th and 18th, I want to say 2023. It's called the Black Women's Sales Summit. The Black Women's Sales Summit. And so it is for any Black woman who's selling anything. You could be selling clothes, you could be selling services, products, or whatever. She's having a 2-day conference in Atlanta, and it is going to be amazing. So go to her website, speakyourwaytocash.com, for more information on that. You can find her book on Amazon. That is all I have. I have some more books that I will be reviewing for you guys next time, at least once or twice a season, probably once this season, and then I'll come back next season. I'll be reviewing some books that I've been reading. If you have any books that you would like me to review, let me know in the comments section what you're reading and how it has impacted you. And if you haven't done so already, pick a book. For each quarterly goal that you have on your vision board, you should have a book that you're reading that's going to help you get there. Oh, Nikeya, my life is so busy. I don't have time to sit down and read books. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's this cool invention out there. It's called audiobooks. Audiobooks are your friend. So if you don't have the time to read and mark it up and everything, because hey, sometimes life be lifing. It's hard to read, but you can listen to a book. You can listen to an audiobook while you're riding in your car, while you're making dinner, all those things. Listen to it. Sometimes you may want to do both. You may want to say, I'm going to listen to it, but then I'm going to get the physical copy, because while you're driving, they may say something really good, but you can't jot it down or make note of it because you're driving, and that's not safe. But if you get the audiobook copy and the physical copy, you can be like, okay, I'm going to go back and mark that chapter up later. I'm going to take some notes on that, write them down in a journal, because we're not reading information just to say we read it, right? We're reading it for a transformational experience. We want to have some better result come out of reading this book, be it more money in our bank account. I'm better with time management as a result of reading this book. I have a better outlook on life as a result of reading this book, right? Reading with intentionality, okay? All right, you guys, that's my review. Thank you so much for tuning in. I can't wait to catch you on the next episode. Keep living victoriously. Bye, everybody.